Hello, welcome back to the final episode of how to illustrate a character from scratch using PROCREATE. Today we're going to just do the final touches on this guy here and put in any little effects, etc. near the end, and then export it for whatever format we want. So let's jump into the layers and see what we got. So we've no shadows on this guy yet, or highlights, so we're going to jump into that now. We've created that layer since the last episode, which was shadows. So for the shadows layer, normally I go straight to black, like that, and then stick the opacity, or should I say the opacity and screen value to a little bit lower, and then maybe multiply. So start with multiply and just do a few tests just to see what way that comes out. Obviously my brush size is pretty big there, just gonna bring it down like that. So depends on what kind of harsh shadows you want and how deep the shadows. I like to try different effects here. Overlay normally works quite well for me, like that. Gives this kind of a nice not so dark tone, but let's go to overlay and just bring it up a little bit higher and start bringing the shadows in there now. So you got to think of where you want your light to come from. Is it coming from the top to bottom? Is it coming from bottom to top? Bouncing off, left to right, right to left? How dark it's going to be, and just what you want to achieve in the scenes. So looking at this, I think I want the light to be more top heavy, top to bottom. So it's going to be a lot darker. It's going to be a lot darker from the base. So for example, I'm just going to do a very big shadow as a starting point here. In around, and then this area here, probably gonna give that full shadow, a little bit light at the end there, same here. And the thing about overlay is that certain colors it doesn't do anything. When you put black on an overlay filter and go over white, you actually get zero shadow, you get nothing. So just be wary of that you might have to just create a new layer and try a different effect instead. Okay, so I'm just going along here with this shadow and just adding in as much detail as I can with it. Great, okay. Shadow of the folds, so I need the main folds there. Just going to fill with some shadow underneath the strap here. Slight curve there. I'll just follow it like that. Now here, oops. I'm gonna actually do a big kind of shadow, just highlighting that the head piece is bearing some shadow, because we're going to go up into that there like this and just make it so it's kind of, yes, it's bearing a lot of shadow to to that effect there, like that. Okay, so it's this shadow then is going into other areas here, like so. Okay. Oops. Okay. And now the backpack. For the Wex style flamethrower, we want to just go quite heavy with this and just have the top part in light. I'm going to play around with this shadow. I think I might go back to multiply. We'll see how it looks. But what I'm going to do is just put a bit of shadow individually between each of these curves, because they're curves in the tube. Where they possibly would lie if you're thinking about light coming down. Might be perfect all the time, but it's close enough, and I'm quite happy with the way this is working out now. Maybe not this part here, I'll just delete that and put it in here. You can always see then what a bit of smudge, just to give it a little bit of smudge there. See what that is like. Okay, great. Now, so that shadow is in, and I'm happy enough with it at the moment. So what we do next, actually, just need to give this a bit more shadow here. Bring it across. Okay, so next then, I'm going to go to shadows again. So it's at 76%, so we'll bring it down and just see what it's like, lower and more intense. So that's at its full intensity, which is quite intense. It's not bad actually, it's quite good, I like it. That's overlay, so let's go back to multiply. Multiply is a lot darker, but I do like the finish. That's cool. The full, nearly at max. It's interesting, but you don't see any details, so kind of caught between whether I want to keep it on opacity as overlay, and I think I will keep it overlay actually. It's got it works. I think it works with the environment that he's in. Okay, so now we've got the shadow in, so let's create the highlights. I love doing highlights as well. So highlights, press plus above the shadows. We'll go to rename. Highlights. From the years of doing graphic design and that, there's highlights. You can always spell it differently, or even just call it highs. Saves time. So you might see some layers on people's artwork where it's his, Sha, you know, all names just really cropped down, but we know what they are then. So I'm just going to keep it like that. Change to white. I'm using white first and foremost, but for an environment like this, you could use another color. I might actually use yellow first, really intense yellow. So let's get intense yellow like that, because you'll get some cool highlights that will give the effect of the fire environment that's around the character. So start off by just doing a quick test over here. Like this, go to Gaussian blur, and that's kind of what we want to get. I just want to get this kind of texture going on, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so just again, loads of this highlight color here. Don't have to be too neat, don't have to be super neat with this. Just want to like bathe the character in this light. It's gonna go So imagine it's just falling into place, falling into different places. You know, probably going to fix that glove area there, but this is just falling into place. So, touches of it maybe down here, touches of it here. Okay, now we can just do more of it here. Any highlighted areas. Okay, great. Next then we go to adjustments, Gaussian blur, and scroll it across just till we get that kind of whatever we're happy with, really. I'm going to keep it at that for a moment. Okay, so that's one level of highlights. I seem to have more highlight levels than shadows, and anything that goes over the edges like this. Sometimes it works when you get that overflow, but I'm just going to rub it out like this, just in places. Actually works well with this environment, giving it that little bit of glow, but let's just move some of it out there. Okay, great. Next thing I'm going to do another layer, and this one I'm going to call, rename this Highs Bright and White. So we want these really strong, bright tints and glints. So great for metal and things like that. So this is you're talking about like really just highlighting the tips like this. It's kind of like painting Warhammer figures. Warhammer again, but you can, you know, when you're doing the fine highlighting going around the edges, this makes it pop, makes the character pop. Okay. So you can see there, it's already given a bit of atmosphere, making it pop off a bit. Then any more metal pieces that you think might need it just to jump. It doesn't have to be all metal either, it's just, I like doing the outside of the suit as well. You think about it, it's kind of a plastic suit anyway, so it's going to have kind of a plastic kind of a feel to it, or a sort of a shiny feel to it, should I say. And the wax back, yeah. Now the tube, I'm just going to sporadically put some light in here, like this, and possibly the watch, just give it a little bit there. And this isn't really in the light as much, so I'm just going to leave that for the moment. The helmet here definitely needs something. Now what I can do is, after I've finished some of these kind of highlights, is I can also blend these too. So let's just get more of the suit highlights in. Okay, and now go to adjustments, Gaussian blur, and we'll select pencil. This time I'm just going to specifically blur in a bit here using the pencil. Okay, So still keeping the edge, but the pencil is just blurring a bit. I'm just kind of smudging it really. Like so. Okay, starting to build up this kind of a texture. The next one then is to put an alpha lock on the ink layer. So this is great because you can get those really exterior kind of white tones on the ink layer that you've already started. So normally what I do is I duplicate the ink layer and then use the one I've just duplicated and put an alpha lock on it. Alpha lock, and turn off the one below it. So just in case I make a mistake or anything, I have the other layer copied. Now, because the alpha lock is on, I can literally draw anywhere on the ink and it will only draw on the ink. So that's what we want. So I'm just going to see what that works out like for the edges here for extreme kind of highlight points or pinpoints. Yeah, this will work out nice, I think. Doesn't have to be the whole thing. I'm just kind of working with it like that. And that didn't work there, so let's go to black, back to black, and color in some of that. Back to white. Maybe just stop around there. So you can see it's just got big highlights going down on top of the model, or the model, the drawing on the real extremities. Then it may need a little bit of this white. Hopefully it's not overkill. But I think that the environment actually, it works well with it, so. And actually this tube should have a glint of white going along it. Like so. Yeah, and maybe this guy down here just to get little pieces of this. I don't want to ignore it completely because it is the gas tank. So we'll just have. Actually, you know what? That doesn't work because it is too dark down there. Like so. Oops. Now, so look back up. Okay, not too bad. And let's turn on the ink layer below. I want to try something here. I just get experimenting. I'm going to do a bit of a Gaussian blur on the white. See what it does. No, it doesn't work, so I'm going to leave it as is. It's just a little experiment to see. And then it's going to bring the opacity down a bit, see what it's like. No, I'm going to leave that off. So again, it's about experimenting and seeing what works best. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to duplicate the shadow layer for a minute, and I'm going to change it to multiply. Just bring it down a tad. And going to try something here with the gradient map Mystic. Okay, maybe not. We'll leave it off. Okay. Yeah, no, that looks, it's getting there. It's almost there. What I'm going to do next is go back to the ink layer, and now I'm going to put in some more details. So this is where we're going to get a little bit fine-tuned. I'm going to take alpha lock off and just going to add in some bits and pieces. So this is where you can get personal with different things. Adding like regiment symbols and stuff like that. So just make this kind of a skull. Of sorts, some sort of a clan symbol or something like that from the cigarette down here as well to finish off. Okay, now we'll just draw another element maybe that just goes on, have a sticker maybe. I'm gonna do a sticker, maybe a caution sticker or something like that. Flammable. Or radiation, actually. Don't know why radiation we should look. We'll work with it. Okay. Back to colors and select color for that. like that, and ink. Okay, move that there, and then down to color again. Oops, this guy here, let's get the color fixed on that. Alright, so it's a sticker now put in there. Let's get the shadows again. We'll go back to shadows, add a new shadow, because I think we need some more deeper shadows in there underneath here, just to really bump it up a bit more. So these are going to be the shadows that are going to be super, well, not super black, but just going to put them in like this. This is going to be super under there, super deep. You can see now the shadows adding in. Just getting in there. Okay. Looking good. I think I'm happy enough getting there. I'm going back to the highlights here and just get this a little bit over the edge. Fill that in. Now, zoom out a bit, and I'm going to go for another layer of highlight here, and I'm going to color this intense red. I'm going to rename this red highlight. Doesn't matter if it's spelled wrong, I'll correct it. And I just want to get a little bit more red kind of texture going in here. I'm going to bump this up. This is going to be a predominant color coming around the base area here. I'm going to have it in the background as well. I don't just want to see what this is like. It's kind of like a magma. I don't know. It's going to be just a hellhole. So set this to multiply. And get the Gaussian blur up again. I'll just bring it up a bit like that. Great. Now I'm going to go back down to our textures here. We have it on hard light at the moment. I'm wondering, could we just change it? I think it reflects better the environment that we got going on. It's really fiery environment there. Next, we can check out as well on the ink layer here, the base or the main one here. We can go to hue, saturation, brightness, and we can change the brightness of the hue. But I just want to try and see what it would look like maybe in a different color other than black. Just gonna see if I can play around with a little bit there just to so it's not quite a black, it's not too much a gray either. About there, yeah. Zoom back out. Okay, now let's go to swatch the black or the new gray color there, and go to get some more details just on the background. Turn off alpha lock, and you can be as creative as you want here. You know, just if you want to just be barren, or just have all different features going on in it. So currently I'm just going to add in some more lines and things like that. There's a good bit of real estate down the bottom here that we got to kind of cover. So what I'm going to do is again just draw in lots of defining lines. It's kind of a desert scape environment, so I just want these swoosh lines going across. Like so. Now what I'm going to do is alpha lock that again and pick a swatch from that ground and change the color to slightly darker and just see what we're looking at to give that kind of so it's not full black, it's just a hint. It's kind of showing a hint of the desert. Yes, that's happier with that. So the sand. It's gonna have to be a little bit neater here, zooming in. Let's fill in the areas. Where the sand is specifically. Okay. Yeah, happy with that. Okay. Now, going to look at the flame coming out of the end of the flamethrower. So it's kind of like an igniting flame, so we'll just hit a new layer, and we want it to be that blue color, but I'm going to change my brush and I'm going to change it to luminance. I'm going to pick light brush first and see how we work with that. So light brush, and it's just going to be, you know, the kind of the blue flame that comes out of a flamethrower, kind of like a heat, the gas flame, if you want to put a word on it. And you can add in the luminance, then just give it a little bit more pressure. Add the pressure, and that'll just give the flame effect, like so. Bring this beneath the ink. Perfect. So we want this to go out a bit there because it's going to scald. So that's our blue flame. Actually, a little bit too much there, sorry. I just want to color in the area here around it, so it really looks like it's igniting, or it's about to ignite. I forgot to color in the fuel part of the tank, so I think I'm gonna put in a bit of a green color fuel there. Oops, change from the pen back to syrup. So we can see this fuel in it. And the empty part then can be deeper yellow. Yeah, like that. Okay, and then we can add in, go to the highs again, highlights, and just show a little this color here. It's a background color. It's just going to be a flame match, a match and a flame. Again, another sticker or something to that effect. Okay, I never named this. I'm gonna call it Deep Shadows. Deep Shads. Okay. He's definitely getting there. I think I'm just done with him. I'm just going to put on a little bit more light in the form of yellow. Or actually, you know what? A little bit more of the white, and I'm going to go to the luminance and going to pick the light brush again, and just going to see what it's like by giving it an overall bit of a brighten up, like so. May not work. Now, go to the layer, opacity, and just see if we can, I don't know, just come up with something that works here. Nothing is really working. Let's go back to normal again. Bring the opacity down. Yeah, it's just a very, very faint little bit of a highlight going on there. You can see it there. I can even bring it in to the base here a bit, and just start to drag it around the background a little bit as well. Okay, next then is the cigarette. So I've got the light pen for that, and make sure that we are on a layer that will kick off over the, just notice two things that need to be deleted as well, but we'll just go over the ink layer. So it's the light pen that creates the kind of the cigarette light. Let's bring the opacity down a bit. A good bit actually. I just want to get a little bit of an aura around this. That's it. Perfect. And then change the color to white here, so we know it's a cigarette. Change the pen to syrup. It's just a little bit of stray ink there, but it looks like it's somewhere. It's after going in by accident, so I just have to undo some of the layers just to see where it is. We'll find you. Very strange, can't find it. There it is, just the color. And with some highlights here that need to just be deleted. Perfect. Okay. Now just look overall and to see if there's anything else that needs to be done. I mean, I could definitely add more detail. I could definitely add more. Elements to the guy himself. I'm just going to add in a little bit of roughing, edging. maybe not. Okay. Now, I like to do a little bit of this on some of the guys, just like personalization again. This guy's gonna have rope, and this rope is going to be leading on to some sort of ceremonial bead. Like so. And then the final thing, then color. Just color in the itself there. Get some color to the rope. Just going around it. Okay, I think we're done. As I said, we can go with a lot more detail, but I'm going to leave it there now. So I'm happy with that. Last thing to do is to add in some smoke. So because we have a cigarette there, I want to get some smoke from that. So I'm going to bump up the size of brush size, bring up the smoke layer above the ink layer, and then bring the opacity down like so. So you can see we have smoke, and you can see we have smoke from the actual fire coming off this guy as well. So increase that a little bit if needs be. Yeah, and then I'm just going to get a slight Gaussian blur on. Boom. Done. Okay, happy with that there now. I could go into more detail as mentioned, but I'm just going to leave it be. So the next step then is to export the model, or export. So the next step is to export the illustration out into the relevant format that you want. So what you do is you go to the spanner tool up here in Procreate, we go to share, and then we have options to share it as. So PSD is Photoshop document, so you can share it out and work with it then in Photoshop, which is great because it comes in all the layers perfect, and you can continue on then if you're more used to Photoshop or you want to do something extra in Photoshop that you may not be able to do in Procreate. You can save it as a PDF, JPEG, probably one of the most popular, PNG and TIFF. You can also share the layers if you wish, so you can share specific layers. But we're just going to save it as a JPEG today. So save it as JPEG, it exports. So thanks for viewing today's final part of creating an illustration in Procreate from scratch. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you have any comments or suggestions, please put them in the section below. Please like and subscribe, and look out in the future for more updates. Thanks very much.